TGIT. Thank goodness it's today. TGI. Thank goodness it's TJ. Right, you guys know the deal. We're gonna go over some quotes, see how we can utilize them as focal points for this week to improve ourselves from a behavioral health standpoint, to get us closer and closer to our genuine, authentic selves. Let's get into it. First quote. Are you ready? Doesn't matter, because I'm doing it anyways. The version of me you created in your mind is not my responsibility. Yes, keeping this in mind, especially when it comes to people in our life, stressors, right? The version of me you create in your mind is not my responsibility. There's a lot of people that have these beliefs about you, that have these expectations of you, okay? But that is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to be your genuine, authentic self and setting some certain boundaries if you feel like they are important for your overall self-care and the overall structure of that relationship. So keeping that in mind with an advantage, you already can separate yourself a little bit more. It's not necessarily you, a little more of a reflection of them, and X, Y, and Z, right? Next one, your greatest reward will come when you intentionally improve. And now I ask you, are you intentionally improving? Look at the rest of today, for example. If I ask you, what are you doing? If you're like, I don't know. Okay, you're not even doing the things, the small things or the big things to intentionally improving it closer to your goal. Your day isn't even showing that you're going in that direction. Okay, so each day, how are you intentionally improving in a certain direction of some purposes and some goals, right? Because oftentimes, the greatest reward that you're praying for isn't even in the little things like your day. Come on, yo, we gotta go. All right, next one. Okay, you had a purpose before anyone had an opinion. Ooh, very similar to the one at the top, okay? You got a purpose, you got a reason, you got some reason for being, right? Obviously, for those of you who believe in a higher power, right? My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I certainly do. There's it there. For some of us, it's in our family. For some of us, it's in ourselves. For all of us, it should be a little bit of mixture of all those things, right? What do you feel like are some of those quirks or some of those things that make you so different that you can give to maybe not necessarily the entirety of the world, but most certainly your world, right? So what are some of your reasons for being with the people in your life, with some higher power belief, with your own beliefs, right? Because the more that you can identify that and focus on that, the more you're just drowning out the opinions of other people. Because once again, we don't have time for that. We have no need for that. But sometimes our brain makes us think that we want it, that we need it, that we need to process it. No. Their opinions don't matter, right? So just keeping that in mind. Okay. Next one. One of the greatest regrets in life is being what others want you to be instead of being yourself. Right? Okay. We all get this. We get peer pressure from the people in our life, our loved ones, even the people that we don't love. We kind of they motivate us in some way. But you really got to sit down and identify, what do you want? People, got a question? No? Okay. What do you really want? Right? What are some of the things that really light a little spark underneath your butt, that really gives you those tingling feelings in the stomach, right? What are some of those things that are specific to you, right? Because oftentimes you'll wake up and you'll be like, man, I'm in this thing because of this person. I'm in this situation because of this person. And if anything, you want to wake up 5 years later, snap and be like, you know what, all those decisions were mine. So what are some of those decisions? Setting the boundaries, identifying them consciously and intentionally, identifying what some of those things are so that you don't have any of those big regrets, y'all. You feel me? Okay, next one. When you don't understand, you depend on reality. When you do understand, reality depends on you. I love this. When you don't know things, you have to ask questions. You have to rely on what the status quo is until you know more and can identify ways to challenge it, right? So when you do understand, reality depends on you. You can question things a little bit. Go in there with a little bit more of an open mindset. Go in there with a little bit more of a stronger mindset as opposed to one that's in survival or one that is acting upon that of depression, anxiety, or just stressful symptoms overall, right? When you understand, the more you do, the reality, your perspective is a little bit more controlled. You have a little bit more of a diverse, long-term theme towards that situation. It's going to help you just perform a little bit better. So when there's things in your life, right, that causes a lot of stress, just understand them a little bit more, right? If it's driving, take some driving classes, watch some driving videos, right? If it's when the phone rings because you think, oh my gosh, someone had to die, it's practicing and actually training and ways to calm that down, right? Make your nervous system calm down. So the more that you understand about your stresses, the more you understand about some of the traumas and the upbringing that you've been through, right? You talk about it, you get your thoughts out, you get new thoughts in, right? The better you're going to get through it. So when you don't understand, you depend on reality, right? And that's not a good thing, because when you do understand, reality depends on you, and you have a little bit more of a say in your life, which is awesome. All right, so keep that in mind. All right, next one, okay? You cannot lose another life than the one you're living now, or live another one than the one you are losing. So regardless, this is the life you got. These are the cards that you've been dealt, right? From this point on, you can make a certain narrative. You can make small goals and big goals and really work hard and get them. Said, you know what, man, this is my story. I'm gonna make it beautiful no matter what. You can actually do that, right? But oftentimes I'd love to go back in time. I'd love to go back to this time. Oh, if I just had this, this, and this. No, you got what you got, and complaining about it is, first off, not only annoying, but it's also not at all helpful, right? So once again, this is the life you got, regardless of the cards that you got. People have been dealt worse, believe it or not. Ouch, ooh, hard pill to swallow, sorry. And they've been able to make it through. I'm not downing you, or I'm not saying what you're going through is not as bad, but because you deserve to feel however way you feel, but there is a way that you can kind of get yourself out of it, right? This life is beautiful. This is our only chance, right? And you can get through some of those things that you've been, a little bit challenged with, and I got your back if you need it, right? Last one, let's go. There is no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit, right? Oh yeah, leave those anonymous flowers. Oh, and they think it's that person. You be like, hey, yeah, it's that person, whatever, right? Pay for the bill. Be like, man, I don't know who paid for the bill. Go up to the waiter and and then no one tells them. They make guesses. They don't guess you. That's fine, right? There's no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit, right? So just keep in mind small things and big things at work, right? There's gonna be people that steal your idea. Hey, guess what? In your core, character-wise, that was your idea, taking it, even if, they were told to, right? It can still be considered slimy. So obviously just keeping that in mind, that there's another way to connect it, that it's more impactful, more influential, more helpful from an intrinsic standpoint as opposed to an extrinsic standpoint. Right? So once again, you don't want that credit that's just that extrinsic, reinforcement. Yeah, good for me. If good gets done intrinsically in you, it got done. That other person felt the need to take credit, and maybe that's more a reflection of them. I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it. I'm gonna tell my husband or my kids. I know they'll believe me, and that's all I can do. It's the only amount of control I need. Actually, I don't need more than that control. Right? All right. We got to go through those again. The version of me you created in your mind is not my responsibility. Right? Your greatest reward will come when you intentionally improve. You had a purpose before anyone had an opinion. One of the greatest regrets in life is being what others want you to be instead of being yourself. When you don't understand, you depend on reality. When you do understand, reality depends on you. Right? You cannot lose another life than the one you're living now, or live another one than the one you're losing. And there's no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit. Right? TGIT. Thank goodness it's today. Anybody? Still need to get that app where I have people in the audience. Right? Thanks, guys. Okay. TGIT. Thank goodness it's today. TGI TJ. Thank goodness it's TJ. Maybe. Sorry, a little quirky. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I love you guys. Make it a week.